In the Lakers game on opening night, LeBron James got checked in at the same time as Bronny, and he just recently came out with a quote about that moment. He stated, "That moment, us being at the scorer's table together and checking in together, is something I will never forget. No matter how old I get, no matter how my memory may fade as I get older or whatever, I will never forget that moment." And I think that this shows the sentimentality of LeBron James playing with his son. Because in general, the idea of Bronny coming into the league after having a really disappointing year at USC, and part of that was due to factors out of his control, like the heart incident. But in general, Bronny, I think he should have stayed another year at USC. That was my opinion, and that's still really my opinion. But the Lakers did catch a lot of flack. It was obvious that they were going to take Bronny so that he could play with his dad, and that wasn't seen as a great basketball decision. And that's still, I believe, largely true. However, a moment like this, right? This is one of, if not the greatest NBA player of all time. He's top 2 definitively. And he's been in the league 22 years now, I believe it is. 21, 22, somewhere in there. And he's now getting to play with his own son. And that's really cool. I'm someone who does look to be a dad someday. And am I going to be playing in the National Basketball Association with my son? No. But I do intend on playing in the Recs once I get to college and beyond. I'm going to have like a 20-year career in the Recs, right? And imagine my son coming along during my final year or something. That would be a really cool moment, and just a father and son, right? Just parents in general. You want to raise your child and be able to succeed along with them. And another goal is creating generational wealth, which LeBron's already done. So it is a cool moment. But I think also what we can take away from it, besides the fact that, it is a real cool moment, despite, the basketball implications, is that having this moment where they both checked in the scorer's table, LeBron got his moment getting on the court with his son, Bronny. And Bronny played 3 minutes in that game, so it wasn't much. He only got 1 rebound. However, Bronny also got to play on the court with his dad, and that's really cool. And now, at the same time, it takes away from the attention that the duo gets, a little bit at least, hopefully, about, hey, when's LeBron going to get to share the court with his son? Because that did happen now. And so now you can kind of be a little bit freer from those distractions. And maybe I'd love to see Bronny down in the G League to kind of just develop his game. And you can maybe have those conversations now. You couldn't have those conversations before because it was just going to be, all the discussion was going to be, when is Bronny going to get called up so he can play with his dad? We don't know how long his dad's going to be in the league anymore, right? But now that you got that moment, you got the big deal out of the way, in a win for the Lakers, by the way. If it was a loss, I think there would be negative conversations about it, but there's really not any negative conversations about it. We can acknowledge it's a nice moment, and now we can kind of move on from it, hopefully, and not be distracted by when's it going to happen, because we got to see it. And now you can kind of just focus on basketball for the Lakers. I think that's why it kind of happened the first game. JJ Redick said he didn't even know why the fans were cheering at first, right? And he probably did, realistically, right? The rotations you're making. But, yeah, because JJ, if that is true, he just looked at it as a basketball move. And so as a basketball move, being able to just silence yourself from those distractions, I think that could be actually big for the Lakers. Just the fact that this moment happened in game 1 of the NBA season. And now you can just focus on basketball the rest of the way and developing Bronny properly and giving him time, which he definitely needs. And that's not a knock on him. The NBA is an adjustment. And, it's just, I think he has potential to be a good player. I think he could be a good defender right away. But he just needs time to develop to the NBA. It's a whole different ballgame. And I think just getting this moment out of the way, it's gonna be positive for his development. Even, with all the glamour of it right now, I think in the long run, it's actually gonna be an improvement on the basketball end, not just because he got to play with his dad, got to share the court together for 3 minutes.